Yo, what is up, guys? It was Kage with part 2 of What If Naruto was Satoru Gojo. And to be honest with you, part 2 was supposed to come out a long time ago. I don't really have any excuse, but I am using some new audio programs, so the audio should sound crisp, nicer. So without anything else to say, let's get right into the what if. So in the last part, we first met Naruto Gojo. He inherited his family's curse technique, which was very powerful, and by the age of 5, he began practicing these techniques. Later on, his family sent him to the Leaf Village, where many girls grew fond of Naruto because, it's literally Satoru Gojo. Have you seen the man? So yeah, he's really good looking and very powerful. And no, not only girls realized Naruto's strength, but so did Sasuke. And with the intention of killing his brother in mind, he asked Naruto to train him. At first, Naruto refused because using his 6 eyes technique, he saw how much negative emotion was coming off Sasuke. But eventually, Sasuke became an annoyance, so Naruto accepted on a condition, which Sasuke had a clever solution to. And by clever, I mean dumb. Very, very dumb. But Naruto saved him, and after that, the two started training, and both got on the same Genin team together with Sakura and their sensei Kakashi. So we start the morning of the bell test. Naruto wakes up and goes to eat, and he has some nice ramen since he's gonna be doing a lot of work today. He needs those carbs for energy. So after that, he gets ready and heads out to the training ground, where he sees his team. His team is already there, and surprise, the man himself, Kakashi, isn't late for once. So he learned from last time. So Naruto goes up to his team and they enter the training ground. Kakashi explains the rules of the bell test, and it goes as follows. The first 2 to grab the bells wins and will go on to become Genin, and the one who fails to grab a bell will be sent back to the academy. So without much thought, the team agrees, and as Kakashi started, Sasuke and Sakura went to hide in the forest while Naruto stood to face off against Kakashi. Obviously, Kakashi didn't think much because he's fresh out to the academy, so he just thought Naruto is just being cocky, which he was, but he was about to have a rude awakening because there's some he can back up what he's saying. So Naruto runs at Kakashi faster than he could even perceive him, and this caught Kakashi way off guard, and before he knew it, he felt a foot hit his stomach, and this sent him flying into a tree, breaking it, and all the air in Kakashi's lungs just forced itself out, causing him to heavily start breathing heavily. And both Sasuke and Sakura, who found each other in the forest, were watching in awe at Naruto's just raw speed and strength. Sasuke was more used to it, but Sakura especially was caught off guard. So Kakashi slowly got up, and he put his book in his back pocket and raised his headband, and Naruto smiled, knowing that he's finally starting to take this serious. So Naruto goes for another, but Kakashi barely dodges. Having increased perception from the Sharingan, the two start getting into a heated taijutsu battle. Naruto makes most of the attacks, but none land, and Kakashi keeps blocking, and when an opportunity finally came, he kicks Naruto back. So with some distance between him and Naruto, Kakashi began weaving hand signs, and a water dragon came from the lake right next to them. It rushed to Naruto, engulfing him, and Kakashi actually got worried because he used a lot of chakra in that attack, and if it hit Naruto head on, it would really injure him. So the waves from the attack settled, and Kakashi saw Naruto just standing there fine. He wasn't even wet. And in his confusion, he forgot about the other members of Team 7. So Sasuke wrapped some wire around him like he did Orochimaru, and this binds him so Kakashi can't move. Then Sakura comes up and snags one of the bells, but before she could get the other one, Kakashi drags Sasuke, with his own wire, sending him into the river. But what he wasn't expecting was Sasuke just landed on the top of the water. He can water walk. And this was surprising to Kakashi because, Genin aren't supposed to be like water walking or tree walking. They shouldn't even know chakra control. Well, that being the case, Naruto is treating him like a toy right now. So, I mean, he probably needs to rethink his logic. But, Sasuke then weaves some hand signs to form a fireball jutsu, and this rushes along the wire, sending Kakashi up in flames, but a log appears in his place. Kakashi was now behind Sasuke and neck chopped him for an easy takedown, or so he thought. Sasuke had been training with Naruto for years, so he was not going to be put down that easily. So he grabs Kakashi's arms and swings him back onto the land. Then Naruto, using his curse technique, laps blue, pulling Kakashi towards him and punches him right in the face, knocking him out. About an hour passes and Kakashi wakes up, broken, bruised, and his clothes soaking wet. He was tied to the pole, and Team 7, they were having a good lunch. Then they noticed Kakashi was awake, so being, the loving team that they were, they started eating right in front of his face, just mocking him. But, when they finally had their fun, Sasuke shows him the bells, and so did Sakura. Kakashi then speaks up. So, Naruto, you know what this means, right? You'll be going back to the academy. Naruto almost chokes on the food because, he started laughing. He's like, yeah, sure, Kakashi. I think if I don't become a Genin, then I'll just become a Jonin anyways. And Kakashi replies, oh, what makes you so sure? And, Naruto, pointing over to the fence, he says, well, I think those people saw everything. And, there were some villagers behind the fence watching the entire fight and began spreading the word of, Naruto's superhuman strength. Kakashi bit his tongue, then just sighed in defeat. So, after that, as the weeks goes by, Team 7 had been doing many D-rank missions, which started to piss Naruto off because the strongest isn't supposed to be like walking grannies across the street. And, alright, let me just go on like a small rant about this for a second. Just let me clarify something. Naruto right now is really, really cocky. And, he might not seem like Gojo any at all right now, but this is what Gojo used to be before a certain event in his life happened. I won't say what it is because that would be kind of spoiling the manga and this what if. So that as a certain event happens, which made Gojo the way he is right now. So yes, Gojo used to be cocky, kinda not like Bakugo, but he did take a lot of pride in his abilities. So let's just get right back into it. Naruto and Sasuke, but especially Naruto, are pissed that they're stuck catching cats, collecting litter, all those sorts of stuff. So when they go to their next mission, they ask kindly for a higher rank mission. Psych. While Team 7 was like waiting for their assigned mission, Naruto spoke up. He's like, yo, old man, I'm tired of doing these dumb missions for like 2-year-olds. Give me something better that a real shinobi, can do for the strongest. And, one of Hiruzen's guards, not guards, but like one of his Anbu, he said, watch your tone when speaking to the Hokage. And Naruto turned to him and says, oh, you want a piece of this too? And, Naruto got into his battle stance, and the Anbu said gladly while taking out a kunai. And Naruto was about to rush at him, but Kakashi grabbed him by the back of the shirt, and the Anbu got held back by another, Anbu. And Hiruzen, seeing all this, he just starts laughing. He's like, Naruto, you amuse me. I heard word you took down Kakashi without, much effort or much help. So I guess you could handle a higher mission. And, of course, Kakashi felt a hit in his pride from that. They kind of dissed him, subtly. So Hiruzen hands him a folder with a C stamped on it. He went on to explain the details of the mission, saying this is a mission to escort a bridge builder named Tazuna back to his homeland. And Kakashi was looking over the document, but there was an asterisk beside the rank of the mission. And if you don't know what an asterisk is, it's a little star symbol on your number pad. So he asks Hiruzen about it, and he says, well, Ibiki informed me that when Tazuna was registering the mission, he seemed kinda off. And Ibiki being an expert of like lying, manipulation, surveying the mind, stuff like that, he picks up things like this easily. He said Tazuna was giving off signs that he was lying, so they put the little asterisk to that it could be a lie, basically. So he gives them this mission saying they're capable enough that if it is a lie, they can deal with it. So Kakashi team and Team 7 nod and Tazuna comes in. He's as drunk as ever and slurring his words, saying, "Oh, you're giving me damn kids, yada yada yada." So they wait until the next day to start the mission. So they leave the gates of the Leaf Village and start their journey to the Land of Waves. So while the team is just chilling, walking along, they're in formation, Naruto in front of Tazuna, while Sasuke and Sakura to the sides, and Kakashi behind him. While walking, Naruto sees a puddle up ahead, but he overlooks it, but Kakashi doesn't. The team passes the puddle, then two demon brothers jump out. Naruto was the last one to realize, but the first to act. He jumps over Tazuna and kicks the brother, with a massive claw into the ground before he could attack Kakashi. And speaking of, Kakashi moved to block the other brother from attacking Sakura, but Sasuke beat him to it. Sasuke just kicked the brother in the face, sending him to the ground, and he took away all his weapons and stuff and pinned him to the ground using his legs. So Team 7 ties the two up and begin questioning. Kakashi said, "Who hired you?" But not really surprising, none of the brothers replied. They were keeping quiet. And Kakashi kept trying and trying for around 5 minutes, but desperate time called for desperate measures. So he pulls out a kunai and threatens to kill one of the brothers by holding it at his neck. And the other brother, not wanting to see his brother die, he starts spilling the tea on everything about Zabuza, about Gato, about the hit on Tazuna's head, all that stuff. So once Kakashi got what he set out for, he's satisfied with the answer. He swiftly kills them with a kunai to the neck. And Sakura, seeing this, she almost throws up, and Sasuke had to look away. While Naruto, who was a bit surprised by this, he didn't look away. It was sort of a test for himself to see, if he could endure looking at it. So Kakashi seals their bodies in scrolls for the bingo book and continues on their journey. Not long after, a thick fog starts rolling in. This fog seemed familiar to Kakashi, and while he was thinking about this, both him and Naruto heard something coming towards them in the distance. And at the last minute, they both yelled "duck," and a sword came flying overhead and going into a tree. And Zabuza appears. He lands on his swords and starts his whole speech. I don't even know what he talks about. His whole monologue. And Naruto was about to step up to fight him, but Kakashi held him back, saying, I have a bone to pick with him. So the fight with Kakashi and Zabuza goes the same. Nothing really changes. Kakashi copying all of Zabuza's moves and eventually being caught off guard and trapped in a water prison. Naruto, seeing this, runs at Zabuza too fast for him to even keep up, and Naruto appears behind Zabuza, kicking him away, releasing the water prison. Zabuza got up and started cracking all his knuckles, and he said, "Seems the leaf has some strong genin, but let me start to get serious." Zabuza rushed Naruto, swinging his sword, but Naruto easily dodged all his attacks. Zabuza grew more frustrated and yelled, "Haku!" And the tracker ninja showed up, and his iconic mask. First, Haku threw Senbon at Naruto, but they bounced right off him, or at least that's what it looked like to Zabuza and Haku. Zabuza tried again, swinging at Naruto, but this time he doesn't even bother dodging. The blade comes down but stops before it could even hit Naruto, which shocks Zabuza. And before he could even process this, Naruto sent a punch into his stomach, sending Zabuza to his knees, and then backed up to get some distance. Haku runs up to Zabuza to check if he's okay, that's her master. But this gave Naruto the perfect target for his new technique. Naruto points his fingers towards the two and said, "Curse technique, purple." And by combining both his attractive and repulsive techniques, they cancel out each other, producing a value of 0. So anything Naruto is pointing at becomes null, therefore erasing everything in its path. This not only destroys Zabazan Haku, but also the surrounding forestry and like some of the river and ground and all that stuff. So the dust from the attack clears and everyone just saw nothing. Both Zabazan and Haku were completely gone off the face of the earth, and this shocked everyone there. So with that, Kakashi fell to the ground exhausted from overusing his Sharingan, but Sasuke catches him, and Tazuna especially was looking at Naruto in awe, yet in fear. And so was Sakura, but not really fair. She admired Naruto, kind of. Not as much as Sasuke, but yeah. So Sasuke, still having Kakashi on his back, came up to Naruto and said, "You have to teach me that someday." And Naruto just laughed and says, yeah, maybe. Obviously, Naruto is joking here because it's an inherited ability, but he just says this because he knows Sasuke will annoy him to the end of time to teach him. So Team 7, after riding on the boat, gets to the land of waves and to Tazuna's house. His daughter is surprised to see him and gives him a massive hug and shows Sasuke to a room where he can put Kakashi to rest. Everyone goes inside around the dining table, and if I'm not mistaken, Tazuna's daughter's name is Tsunami. So Tsunami was in the middle of cooking dinner when they arrive. So she shared out some food for everyone. So everyone's around the table, having this delicious food. It's amazing, and they're complimenting Tsunami and stuff. And while everyone's having a fine time, someone had to come ruin it. Inari comes up to the dinner table, and Tazuna's daughter, she tries introducing her son, but he began shouting and spouting nonsense about them being too weak to beat Gato and yada yada yada. And actually, Tazuna was the first one to speak. He told Inari to be quiet. He raised his voice, and this kind of made Inari feel a bit scared because his grandfather never raised his voice to him. So Tazuna goes on to say, without them, he would have died, so don't disrespect them. And Inari just had a shocked look in his face and deeply bowed to apologize and ran off. Everyone began eating in silence, with Naruto not really caring, and Tazuna feeling good. He just defended the honor, I guess they would call it, his honor. So it's a kid. I don't know what you're really defending, but sure. So and everyone else in the room is feeling a bit awkward. So days go by, and during this time, Naruto has been dealing with some of the thugs in the land of waves, clearing all the criminals, and also he's helping gather food for the locals so they don't starve. Soon the bridge is finished and all the workers begin celebrating, but this didn't really last long. Soon, around 100 of Gato's men showed up, and Naruto was the first to step up. He can take these guys out with a move, but he got held back by Sasuke. He grabbed his shoulder and said, "Come on, at least let me use what I've trained so hard for." So Naruto, he stood back and he said, "Okay, sure." And Sasuke rushed into the giant mob. He activated his 2 Tomoe and easily dodging all their attacks, used the Sharingan's copying ability. Sasuke performed many jutsu used in Zabuza and Kakashi's fight to take them down. Then his final move, water style, great waterfall technique. This created a giant vortex of water, sending all the thugs right back into the water, where some of them drowned. So with that, Naruto walks up to Sasuke, gives him a pat on the shoulder and says, "Not bad, kid." And that's where I'm going to be leaving this one off. Thank you guys for sticking around to the end of the video. If you liked it, and if you like my content in general, why not subscribe? And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next What If.